If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed.
And a child shall lead them to buy our merch.
A child shall lead them.
I'll do it. All right, you guys.
Speaking of which, we have a friend who has a sister who's having a baby. But we'll talk about that soon. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, actually,
on the channel?
No, she was on that 8th. Remember that we used to fight all the time. That we became friends.
Yeah.
Shorty, her sister.
Oh, cool.
She showed me ultrasound and everything.
Oh, cool.
Actually, what we should do is probably meet up with our chair. We'll come up with some kind of contest because he's really good about that.
Excellent.
We can hook up this girl's baby registry because it's literally just like a jelly bean right now. So,
excellent.
It's a jelly bean. So, we should be able to take care of her by the time everything.
The little homie pops up.
Yeah, by the time big homie shows up. Okay, now here we are, dear listener. Song
Iotunn,
number 3.
the Tower of Cosmic Nihility. This is the winner of the progressive metal poll.
Nihility. Like nihilism?
For me, Archero, personally, this was my album of the year. I submitted in multiple different kinds of polls since they have elements from different genres. It became a sort of inside joke in the alliances where someone would say, well, this is good, but it doesn't count because it's actually the genre of metal. But they would change it to a different genre every time. Finally, another member, Andrew, beat me to the punch and submitted them for this poll, which finally did the trick. Here we go.
So this actually won in the poll eventually?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. The Tower of Cosmic Nihility. I'm going to blame my lack of ability to pronounce that word on the beer. Because these folks are making us drink beer.
They are. They sent us, I've got a feisty redhead, also known as the Gen G.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you guys want us to consume beverages, just send them to us during your stream. And then I said, that's probably not a good idea.
I know, yeah.
Because they'll probably send some weed or DMT or mushrooms or shit. And I'm not going to take mushrooms on camera.
I may.
On camera?
I feel like you shut that down with a quickness.
If you said you would do that, we probably have like 15 pounds of mushrooms in our P.O. box by the time. P.O. Box 7024.
Maine 04240.
All right, the Tower of Cosmic Nihility. Nihility. I'm going to say it that way. The Tower of Cosmic Nihility.
The state of being a nihilist.
Dumb butt. Idiot.
All right.
intros like that. Let's go!
Wow. Oh my gosh. Chero.
These
Andrew.
boys are a problem. Who voted for this band?
Well, Andrew's the one that got it on the list, but Archero had been wanting it on there for a very long time, and it finally got
So the
through.
Andrew kid got it. He got it
Yep,
pushed.
he
got
got
it
it.
pushed up.
Wow, that's incredible. I don't understand.
I'm dead ass serious. Send that kid a shirt, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious. What's your size?
Andrew, message us, vinandsori@gmail.com. And,
Get
or
that-
actually, no, you know what your best bet to do is just to message me on Patreon, because I'm the one that will get the short shirt sent to you.
Get that man a free shirt. Holy.
Speaking of free shirt,
Shiza.
Middle Earth, I'm still waiting for your information to be resent.
We need, get that, get it, size
Wow.
and address.
Size, address, and if you're outside of the U.S., I need your phone number.
Right.
I always wish that they could just eliminate that.
That shit.
This is one of those situations where we've talked about this before, where somebody is saying, like he's talking about, I believe in solace. When he sung that part, I believe in solace. The guy's voice is incredible.
I believe in solace.
But then he says, I accept meaninglessness. I believe in blindness and I embrace the emptiness. But he says it with such beauty.
I know. Anytime these bands start singing about nihilism,
You know,
I always say the song itself undoes your.
it undoes the whole thing. But you know how, like, we've heard those songs where I'm like, it's like a conveyor belt and trash and everything.
Yeah.
Like those, that sound needs to, be that. I believe in blindness. I embrace the emptiness and all that crazy trash sounding.
Yeah.
But this is way too beautiful. It made even the lyrics. I mean, I too wanted to embrace the emptiness. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Well, like, here's the thing. When he said, I accept meaninglessness,
Yep.
that was a very meaningful thing to say.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't, anytime these artists, these brilliant artists, speak nihilistically or nihilistically, however you want to pronounce it, I get it. But at the same time, what was it inside of you that compelled you to write such meaningful lyrics, compelled your musician friends to write such meaningful guitar licks, which, by the way, are governed by mathematics? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? It's like the better the artist is, the less and less nihilism seems real to me.
Right.
The very existence of art itself, to me, is probably, to me, the greatest argument against nihilism.
I agree. I
Now,
agree.
people might say, well, that's because we're trying to assign meaning to it. We're trying to come up with a assign meaning to ourselves. Why?
Yeah, why is that necessary?
Why
do
would
you
we
have to do
want
that?
to do such a thing? Okay, let's say there's no God, the sky is empty, you're just a cosmic accident. All this happened due to random processes of nature, and all you are is matter. Mm-hmm. Let's just hang out in physicalism for a little bit, in materialism. All you are is matter, and you're an accident, and all the rest of it. Great. That means you have no inherent meaning. Why do you even want to create the fiction of meaning? What is the impulse within man that he wants to create the fiction of meaning in the first place? And then on top of that, what drives him to explain to us that he embraces meaninglessness and nihilism?
Right, yeah. Yeah, why even say
And
it?
then what drives you to communicate that emptiness in such a full way? What drives you to
That's the part
communicate
that gets me.
that meaninglessness in such a meaningful way? What is the engine there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, I totally hear it. I totally agree.
If you truly believe that all of this was just random, then, I was watching this guy yesterday, and people were making fun of it, but the people it was this guy, and he was just hitting a drum, and there was no rhythm, he was just randomly hitting it.
Okay.
And people were like, yeah, this is great, blah, blah, blah. It's all this postmodern bullshit. Oh, this is great. It was complete. It was just bunk. But my thought process was, yeah, but in order for this guy to have the platform to give us that bullshit music, or whatever the fuck he was doing,
Yeah.
Somebody had to make that drum.
Yep.
And there are specific mathematical formulations they're actually pretty sophisticated mathematical formulations that you have to do to invent the drum, to get that drum to you in the first fucking place. So you're sitting here beating all randomly and all the rest of it. That's fine. But so my whole thing is like, I don't understand. I get it, but this is probably, you know, everybody knows my song of the year. It's that Chinese band, which I can never pronounce. So it's a scandal at this point because I love this band so much. Well, I don't know if I love the band, but that song is the song of the year. And it's a scandal that I don't know it. But
whose stream was that on?
That was a couple days ago. I'm not sure. Who
it was this one? Zurika Guyan?
A week ago at this point.
Is it this?
Yeah. But it's not important at this point.
Well, it is because people are going to say, oh, I wonder what song that was.
Iotunn. Iotunn is the name of this band right here.
Yeah.
But, like, I embrace the emptiness.
Just.
It's such a full, the entire song was.
And just the way that he sung it.
Yeah.
Was, and there are times where people sing and it just sounds like it started and ended with their vocal cords, and then it's just boop, it's coming to your ears. But then there are times where people are able to capture the feelings of the soul, and that comes out in the sounds, and that to me was what was going on in this sound. It's just absolutely incredible. I just have to, all props going to this band because holy shit, this is really, really good.
And these people have. I want to phrase this. Okay, so Brady was down 27-3, like going into the fourth quarter yesterday. Mm-hmm. Then they score a touchdown.
Okay.
And then a fumble happens. I stayed completely neutral for the entire game. I stayed completely neutral. And Dorian was jumping up and down, yada yada yada. And then of course, you know, Todd Bowles calls this horrible call, and they lose. But I wasn't that disappointed. Because I'm like, what are the odds? Coming back 27-3, you got Aaron Donald over there, Von Miller, yada yada. But it's Brady. I'm like, I understand that, but football is the ultimate team sport. Brady's not playing defense, and then they give up 2 straight things to Cooper Kupp, and it is what it is. But it dawned on me. To me, nihilists to me are people who have been so disappointed by the exigencies of living in this world that they're now afraid to believe.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, they're that. Well, I'll say nihilists like this.
Yeah.
Artistic nihilists.
Well, there's a verse that says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick."
Right. Yeah, and that to me is what it feels like. Like it just feels like. Because, again, if you truly believed everything was empty and without meaning, how was it possible that you could come up with something like this?
Oh, I just...
And why do art in the first place?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then on top of that, why do art that you then share with other human beings? Why do that if you truly believed all of this was meaningless? Mm-hmm. Like, objectively meaningless.
Yeah.
Because what he's saying is, I'm embracing it. Mm-hmm. I'm embracing it. I'm embracing the emptiness and all the rest of it, right? And then BC says, you know how it ends, a cry of the dead. Humans love to hear the death blows. Why? Mm-hmm. I get all these explanations, but why? Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, how do you know that it ends? How can you say that? At the most that you can say is you don't know what happens to consciousness after death.
Right, exactly.
That's the most that you can say.
Right.
You can't say you know that when you die that your consciousness is over anymore. You know, I talk about this all the time. Like sometimes, like, let's say that there was like an entire society in the womb. Let's say that in some strange alternate universe, a mother was able to have 500 kids at a clip. Mm-hmm. So you got 500 people gestating for, let's say, whatever, right? Yeah. And they were able to talk. And then so somebody gets born, right? They'd be like, oh, you know. They get born, they leave, and they never come back. They're never seen or heard from again.
Right.
And, they see a white light, and they're gone. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, what if, when people die, they say they're seeing a white light. What if that's like you transitioning to your next birth? So like your consciousness is leaving the hospital and it's going into another consciousness.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think I've actually heard that before.
I don't think that that's what's happening, but
right.
Like,
interesting thought.
But I do think there's a correlation in that, whatever. We'll talk about that later. Maybe, I don't know. You'll probably be asleep. But like those people in the womb, they would be saying, yeah, man, I mean, and they would call it, they would look at birth as death.
Exactly. Whatever word they used, it didn't matter. It was still communicating the same thing. It's
Seduct.
over. It's over for that person.
Right. They'd say it's over for him.
Yep.
We're never going to see him again. We're never going to talk to him again.
Every time they go there, no one ever comes back.
Right. When in reality, they're going into a realm of existence that would make them terrified to go back. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's ultimately what claustrophobia is that you're afraid of being enwombed, in closed up in a womb, because that's what happens when you're claustrophobic. You're constricted in this very specific area, like you were when you were, whatever.
That's interesting.
So you would be terrified to go back there. Not that it's like, oh, disappointing. That's why people have like near-death experiences. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But like, when you really truly go to the next phase of existence and consciousness, it would be terrifying to have to come back here. There's this movie called in this state anyway. There's this movie called Defending Your Life, and basically it's an afterlife type thing, and they do a review of your life, and your job is to defend yourself to go to heaven. If not, you have to go to hell.
What's it called?
Defending Your Life.
That sounds interesting.
If not, you have to go to hell. But hell is not like fire and brimstone. It's having to come back to earth.
Oh God.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And I think that that's accurate. I think like when you get to the next life, you're going to have to, it would be hellish to have to come back here after you've experienced what it's like in that state of consciousness and that state of being.
Would you lose all that you had gained as far as knowledge and understanding, and would you have to start back at square one?
What do you mean?
Like if you had to repeat it and you had to come back, do you keep the knowledge, or like, how?
Are you talking about in the movie?
No, if this was a real, sure, the movie or whatever, like if that was real, in that thought process, do you keep your original knowledge? If you have to repeat, do you forget what your life was before and you have to start the whole thing over?
I'm assuming that at the subconscious level, you probably still, remember, hey, whatever. You know what I mean?
So the lessons you learned, you have that for the next time around.
Subconsciously, probably. Again, this is the movie.
Yeah,
I don't believe any of that stuff, but
yeah.
But yeah, like so like I don't believe you come back. You know what I'm saying? And have to learn the lessons, because I believe that God is the teacher. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much we didn't learn the lesson. It's that to me, this iteration of our existence and consciousness is all about intentionality, experiencing and choosing sides, and deciding whether or not you want to be in God's kingdom or your own kingdom. That's all it is.
Oh.
So it's not about learning anything. It's just about whose side are you on? Where do you want to be?
Really? You think it's that simple?
It's that simple. That's all. If you want to be in God's kingdom, cool. If not, then he's going to tear open a segment of the universe, and you and all your buddies get to go there. Okay. But you will know why you're there. Mm-hmm. Whereas if he skipped this step, you wouldn't know why you're there. But because we're operating in this simulation and our intentions can be brought out based on the interactions and experiences we have with each other and have with God, by the time you end up with your part in the programming is finished and you transition to the actual real world, you'll know why you're there. So if you're in a godless universe, you'll know why you're there.
You know how people will say, oh, like I wanted to have an experience with God, but he just won't meet with me. Or, I try to talk to God, but he doesn't talk back to me. Or, you know what I mean? Like when people really want that experience. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you would say? Would you say, if you want to be on his team, even if it's not happening for you the way that you think it should, or the way that you want it to, or it doesn't match somebody else's experience, if you want to be on his team in the next life, you will be? Would you say that?
Well, what I usually say is anybody that truly wants God will have him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, it's really not that complicated. Anyone that truly wants God will have him. So, the problem is when people are saying they're not having experience with God and all the rest of it, like, I understand that, and I'm not going to invalidate that. A lot of Christians strangely feel the need to invalidate people's experiences in that regard. I don't think they're lying. I think they're telling the truth. But the thing is, I'd say this is this snapshot of your life. Mm-hmm. You don't know what God's going to give you at your next snapshot, on this earth, and you don't know. Yeah. Job 33 says God does it twice, 3 times as a man to keep him from going to the pit, so he'll be lighted with the light of life. Mm-hmm. So, I could say definitively it's going to happen to you, and on multiple occasions. You will choose what team you want to be on by the time you leave here, and you'll choose. You'll choose whether or not you want him. Mm-hmm. And he will honor that choice in the next world. But if we did not have the simulation to operate in to reveal our intentions and thoughts, then if you ended up in some place in the universe, you wouldn't know why.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know what your role is, and you wouldn't know what to do. So, that's why I'm like, well, what if hell's on earth? What if being born is dying and dying's birth? Would that mean life's not God's gift but the devil's curse? No, I don't think so. Because again, if we are having things like metal music that we can enjoy, and sugar cookies and all types of different things, and holding your firstborn, and reading a good book, then experiences on earth are mixed experiences. Even in the worst, untouchable ghetto in India, you still have childbirth.
Right.
And a childbirth and having children indicates, there's a lot of things that go into that. There's pleasure. There's a whole bunch of things that the child is a fruit of, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think existence on this earth is purely suffering. Mm-hmm. I think existence on this earth is mixed between the consequences of our fallen state and the blessings of God's grace. Yep. And I think so.
Yeah, sometimes we make life much more difficult than it needs to be.
Right.
That's the facts.
Right. But the song itself is unbelievably amazing, even if it's contradictory. Right? Which is the human experience. Yep. Right? It's the human experience that when we're like that, we're insanely contradictory, but we're unbelievably amazing as well. All human beings are. So, shout out to you for being a human being. Also, I have to say, at the end of, like halfway through the song, I said, okay, I've got to get back to my old school rating system. Because in my old school rating system, I was much more difficult. So henceforth, my rating system is going to be a lot more aggressive. So don't be too angry, or don't take it personally.
Funny, I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, oh no, I just passed out a 10 before, but this one is like definitely 10 or 11.
Correct.
And there should be a much bigger gap.
Sadakt. I agree. There should be and that's the other thing is like an 11 has to mean something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't be giving out 11s all over the place.
Yeah, well, this one's an 11 for me.
Mythical. It's got to be something mythical.
This one's an 11 for me. This one was really, really great.
It's also an 11 for me.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
It was just so good, and the subject matter, like
unbelievable.
It's like if I wanted to teach Dorian about nihilism, I would do it. But see, the thing is this guy's vocal style was insane. The vocal range was crazy. Oh. The guitar was crazy. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things, man, where it was a moment in time when I'm like, show me the weakness in this song at all.
Yeah.
From the way that it started to the way...
I couldn't find any flaws
to the way that it ended. Where's the flaw?
I totally agree.
Where's the flaw? Here's what I'll say about my Chinese band is that aesthetically they push themselves over the top.
Yeah, but we don't know what these people did.
Oh, I agree.
We didn't see it. This whole thing was We didn't even see them, and we gave them that high of a score.
That's
So
what I'm
who
saying.
the hell knows?
If they were able to do something aesthetically, they might have unseated my Chinese band. But now, every time I hear my Chinese band,
You'll think of this?
those aesthetics are there.
Oh.
So it puts me in that universe, and
Yeah.
so that counts for me because it's an esoteric experience.
Well, 11's all around.
Brilliant,
ladies and
brilliant,
gentlemen.
freaking brilliant band, brilliant song. I
Have
love the
no
hell out of
fear.
this.
We're coming at you with one more song.
Yes, and shout out to Andrew for winning that free shirt, my guy. See, this is another benefit. This is one of the unspoken benefits of being in an alliance. Is that
True.
sometimes if you, I've done that like a couple times. I'm like, that fucking guy needs to get a shirt.
That's true. That's true.
or that young
Don't forget,
lady.
message me on Patreon.
All right.
All right.
Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.